1. What is up, guys? It is PrimeTime KC, and today we have recurring guest, good friend of ours, Nick Heath. Nick, we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to come and hang out for a little bit.
All right. So, I'm joined by John also, but Nick, you're the outfielder for the Royals in the minor league system, and let's just go back to March.
Uh-huh.
Whatever day it was, NBA gets shut down, the MLB shuts down the next day. During those 24 hours between like when the NBA got shut down and the MLB got shut down, what was like the vibe with all the players in the clubhouse?
For the most part, I think it was just a lot of confusion. Guys not necessarily knowing what was going to happen next. Once we saw that the NBA was shut down, we kind of assumed that maybe we would be all right, and maybe the NBA was just kind of taking maybe they were kind of just taking precautions that might have been a little too big, if that makes sense, just because we hadn't necessarily, probably been brought up to date on exactly what was happening. So, over the next couple of days, when we started to figure out everything that was going on, it was kind of more so us just being like, well, what's going to happen to us? And are we going to be able to play? Are we going to break when the season starts? And maybe this only lasts a week or 2 weeks or something like that. So we kind of just, excuse me, we kind of just adapted as the days went on, and we kind of got a little more information piece by piece. But at the same time, we kind of weren't getting a ton of information either, because I guess nobody really knew what was about to happen. So we kind of just played everything by ear.
John?
Yeah, so we can kind of move on to the more recent things, mainly just initially when the players seemed like they were going to get 50% revenue. You would definitely say that you and the rest of the players thought that was a fair proposition initially, right?
I would say so, yes, but I can only speak for myself, because I can't necessarily say what other guys, financial situations are like, what their opinions are on the matter. But I can say, if we're gonna play 80 something games out of 162, then cut us. If we play exactly half, then cut us exactly half of our paycheck. That's what we earn. That's what we played for. You know what I mean? So I understand where guys are coming from, in the sense of, you're not gonna give us one pay cut that we agreed to, and then give us a separate pay cut, which is even way more than the first one. I understand, man. I really do. You're talking about throwing away millions and millions and millions of dollars that these guys have worked their entire lives to receive, and all of a sudden, somebody's like, "Nah, we're not gonna give it to you, even though you worked for it." You know what I mean? So that would kind of, I think, I understand where they're coming from. I truly do, and in all honesty, I back every single person who doesn't want to take a pay cut. I completely understand. We come out here, we work hard for it, we practice day in and day out for it, we live our families for it. For somebody to say that, you guys are being selfish and not taking what they give you, my rebuttal to that is, if somebody tells you you can come work for $100,000 a year, cool, you're all in on that 100,000. And then the pandemic happens, and they say at the end of the year, no, we're not going to prorate you. We're not going to give you 70, because you worked however much 70 called for. We're probably going to give you like somewhere between 15 or 20, maybe even less than that. But that's just because we're trying to save our pockets. I don't think the average Joe would be okay with that. You know what I mean? I don't think somebody else would be okay with that. But I think because the number, or the amount of money that's being made on a larger scale, is more than the average bear makes, then people are saying, that's way too much. You shouldn't be making all that. We're not making all that. You know what I mean? So I understand both sides, but from the bottom of my heart, man, I worked for it. You know what I mean? I bust my ass day in and day out to get to where I am and to excel past that. So why should I be okay with somebody lowballing me on, the compensation that I think I deserve for my work?
So let's say the league does start. Let's say somehow players agree. Would you sit out this season if you were to
Would
get
I
paid?
sit out this season if I was
paid?
or was not getting paid?
If you were getting paid what the MLB just said they were going to pay, with like those pay cuts. Not your guys' proposition, the MLB's.
I think my situation is a little different. I'm not making league minimum. I'm not I'm not making what, the Mike Trouts of the world are making, or the judges, or you know what I mean, like the household names. I'm not making them. Those guys can afford to sit out. You know what I mean? Those guys can
Yep.
afford to take a season off. I just came off a minor league season where I made like $8,500. That's below the poverty line. You know what I mean? So I think my situation is a little different. If they give me that, then I'm gonna have to take that. I got to play with that because I got to take care of myself. You know, I got a family back home that may need my support at some time. I got a lot of things I got to take care of. So I think it's a little bit different when those guys are sitting on plenty of money that they already have versus somebody who's sitting on essentially almost nothing
All
and
right,
having to still find a way to bring it in.
John. Before you ask let's say opposite case. Let's say players say no, we're not going to play. Do you agree with that? If nobody plays, are you fine with that?
Listen, if nobody plays, I'm not going to sit here and be the person that says we should be playing, we should be complying with what they say. If they say that, then obviously somebody higher up, somebody who's played the game longer than me, somebody who probably understands everything that's going on, every proposal, everything that's said a lot better than I am, or they're probably more educated on it than I am,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna listen. I have to listen. You know what I mean? I gotta understand where the other guys are coming from. And if they say, "Hey, we're not gonna play this season because we're not getting paid fairly, or we're not being compensated for what we do," then I'm bought in. You know what I mean? That this is, in my opinion, it's a brotherhood as a baseball player. And you hear plenty of guys say it. Only X amount of people play this game at the highest level. So only X amount of people understand the struggles and the trials and tribulations that you have to go through. So if they're saying that, we don't want to play this season because this is happening, then I fully support and I fully back the guys who are saying that. But at the same time, I understand that I'm gonna have to go out and do something different. You know what I mean? If we're not
Mm-hmm.
playing, cool. I gotta go get a job. I gotta go work somewhere. I gotta figure out a way to make some money so I can provide for myself, to help my family out if I have to. So I understand both sides, and whatever happens, me being the person I am, I'm gonna find a way out of it. I'm gonna find a way to overcome it. It's just a matter of which road we take and how I'm gonna find that way to do it. But I know I'll do it. You can't stop me.
John.
Yeah, so you obviously you have a little bit of a different situation than I think a lot of people are looking at this whole ordeal. Because the kind of argument is that, oh, they need to play, they have plenty of money, and the simple point is a lot of guys who just now made it onto a 40-man and are fighting for a roster spot, that's really not the case for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, for a player like you and just players like you, what is kind of the reaction to that kind of mindset? Because I'd have to imagine it's pretty frustrating.
It's very frustrating because I have to. I'm gonna defend a baseball player. I'm gonna defend him 10 times out of 10, and that's because I'm going through the same thing they're going through. I've gone through what they're going through, or I'm about to go through what they're going through. You know what I mean? So it's frustrating because you hear people telling us that we should just hush and play the game so baseball can come back and take our pay cuts. It'll bounce back eventually. But like the same way those people out there have to take care of people and take care of themselves and pay off loans and pay bills and car notes and stuff for the house, like the same way they have to do what we do too. They just don't see it that way because they think everybody is making the same type of money that the everyday big leaguer is making, which is $500,000. They're thinking that all of us are. They're not looking at the grand scheme of things. I got teammates who are gonna have to stop playing baseball because of this.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of something that hasn't really been talked about. Not just
It's
for people that already have or that are already on a team, but this draft this year is only what 10 rounds. A lot of kids'
mm-hmm.
dreams and what they've been working so hard for, it's coming to an end very
It
soon.
is, and there's no, and it's not that there's not a way around it. I always think there's a solution for something. Like if we only have 5 rounds and you can only pick up so many people, or teams have to let go of so many people, I think Major League Baseball should step up and help independent baseball and expansion,
I like
or
that.
adding extra teams. So even if you aren't playing affiliated baseball, you're still playing baseball. You still get somewhat of a check. And then what's to say that you don't? Hey, if you deserve to come play professional baseball, or if your ability says that you can come out here and compete with guys at the highest level, then cool, make your shortstop off at indie ball, collect your paycheck if you have to. It might not be much, but it's better than nothing. It's better than you not playing baseball. And go out there, ball out for a little bit, and somebody on a professional team is gonna go, damn, we got to get this guy from this indie ball team. Well, that makes independent ball a little more sought after. That makes it a little more competitive. Guys show up, and now there's like I didn't get to go play with the Texas Rangers. I didn't go play with the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Royals or whoever. So I'm gonna go ball out in indie ball. It's gonna make it a little more competitive. And people come watch. It brings in more money. I think it goes full circle. But you can't introduce an idea to people and expect everybody to buy in. Now some people might like it, but me personally, I know somebody was like, "Hey man, go give indie ball a try, then come back and play pro ball." If you'd have told me that 4 years ago, I'd have been like, man, I might just go ahead and get this master's degree. You know what I mean? But like, now that I'm looking at it now and I understand that like people can't just go back to school and shuck out more money to get an education. People got to go out into the workforce and they got to help. They got to make money. They got to do something. They got to get it somehow, some way. So looking at it now, I think, if we're releasing players and we're not going to pay players, especially minor leaguers who don't know, they're making nothing. So essentially, I think you should give them the opportunity to expand in independent ball and go play there. It makes it more competitive, like I said, and you get guys going out there wanting to compete every day because this is the last stop they had before pro ball. It's just one extra stop, I guess, but it's better than nothing. It's better than no longer playing, in my opinion.
John?
Yeah, so really another question, just at the end of the day, making a prediction for the future. Obviously, nobody really knows what's going to happen. Do you see baseball going on and playing this year? Do you see an agreement being struck with the Players Association and, the owners and, the upper brass of the MLB? And if so, do you think that there will be a lot of players that will sit out when it's all said and done?
Optimistically speaking, I really do think I do think we're going to play baseball. One way or another, we're going to play. I think that guys like myself, younger guys who are kind of just cracking the scene, maybe you got a cup of tea in the big leagues, or I just got put on the 40-man, but I haven't made my debut, or guys who are close to being put on the 40-man. I think you'll see guys like that stick around and grind it out. Maybe second-year guys or third-year guys who are close to arbitration or something like that. But the people who are the Cody Bellingers and the Mike Trouts of the world, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because they don't necessarily need it, and they're probably not in the mindset to be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm just gonna let you screw me over on my money. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? So I can see the higher ups in baseball saying, you know what, I'll probably just sit this season out and we'll come back to it next season when you guys figure something out. And I think the younger guys and I think the guys who are kind of hopefully, getting to that point where we can say we're big leaguers now, I know for sure, man, I'm going to go play if they tell me to play, because my goal is to play in the big leagues, and that's my dream. And understandably, coronavirus has been in the way of that. But when we come back, cool, I took my pay cut. But when we come back and we start playing again, then man, it's time to roll. It's time to keep the ball rolling, man. I got to get it. I got to make it.
Have the Royals been in contact with you and players in the organization in general recently? Like, have they been telling you guys anything, like what they will be doing in the future? Because I know the A's have said like they're not even going to pay minor leaguers. Have the Royals been in contact with you guys?
For the most part, when they contact us, it's every update we get from the Players Association and every update we get from baseball, and we talk about how to stay prepared and things we can expect in the future, or things that we think are going to be solidified. So it's more of a roundtable talk about what our plan is, and they want everybody to stay ready. So if we do play baseball again, that maybe we're one step ahead because guys took a little break, not thinking we play baseball again. So for the most part, no, we haven't necessarily talked about what's going to happen with players, or anything that's going to go on. They're talking about MLB release that thing, talking about possibly having teams split squad or something like that during spring training. So like we would all go back to Kansas City, split our team down the middle, and we play inter squads for 2 or 3 weeks, or we get our practices in for 2 or 3 weeks in like a simulated spring training, so that way we kind of get the ball rolling again, and then to the best of our ability, continue to play games, continue to figure out ways to get our season to roll. So most of it has just been what the MLB has released. As far as decisions, regarding the team, I'm not the person you should ask for that. I think you should ask a higher power. But I think the Royals have done a really, really good job of keeping us in the loop on a lot of things. They've done a good job of leaving the facility open for some of us down here in Arizona to go and get our work in if we need to. And MLB opened up so 4 guys could go in at a time. Obviously we're trying to respect the social distancing regulations and suggestions and stuff like that. So they opened it up to 4 guys at a time and a couple staff members, so we can go in there and work out. We go in groups of 4 for an hour and a half, and then we leave, and the next group of 4 comes in. So the facilities, I wouldn't say it's open, but they definitely give us the place to go and get our work in. So they're doing everything they can to help
John, you
teams.
got anything?
I got nothing else. I don't know about you.
I do have one thing. You're still in Arizona, right?
Yes.
Haven't you been like working out with like Trevor Bauer and them? Is that what I saw? Like you did a video or something?
So they're doing live at bats, and basically it's just my way of still being able to see pitching. You know what I mean? So when we start back up, I haven't seen pitching in 2 months, and I'm not going out there. My timing's not all off. I hit off the tee, off the machine, but Bauer reached out. He sent me this list of things that I had to follow. Like come up, we're not shaking hands with everybody. Just keeping our distance, and that's how they do it, man. They operate really well, and just gives me the opportunity to go out there and continue to kind of work on my craft and see some live arms, see some action and stuff like that. So he's done a really good job of letting us come out there and get our work in when we're able to.
All right. Well, Nick, I think that's going to conclude this interview. We sure do hope to see you out on the diamond sometime soon, hopefully earlier than later. But other than that, I got nothing else other than go Chiefs. Falcons, not looking good.
Hey, come on, man. Stop hating on my squad. It's all right, dog. Don't bounce back. Don't bounce back.
All right. Once again, Nick, we do appreciate you coming on the show. And if you guys want to go follow Nick on Twitter, his Twitter handle is @NHeathWeTrust. Other than that, Nick, do you have anything to say?
Man, thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for at least understanding my side. And for others out there, man, I just beg that you look at it from a player standpoint, and that you understand that these are our livelihoods as well as other people's livelihoods just because they don't play baseball, they may do something else, doesn't mean we don't respect what they do or respect how they want to go about their business. So we just ask that, that respect the guy's decision, and you at least try to put yourself in their shoes momentarily to maybe help fizzle out the aggression that some people have towards us, right?
All right. Well, we will see you guys on the next episode of Primetime KC. Other than that, see you guys next time.